Representative James Talarico proves that Satan is alive and well and working in politics. Let's get into it. Before we go further, my name is Casey. I'm a husband, father, and I've been a therapist for more than a decade, and I can tell you firsthand that this country is going the way of the dodo bird if we don't get these kinds of progressive senators out of the mix. Before we get into it, please like on the way in. Let's look at exactly what he said and just how bad it's getting in Texas. James Talarico says that we should lay out the welcome mat at the southern border of our country, and he uses Christianity as a premise to say this. Watch this.
So Kamala Harris now supporting Texas Senate candidate James Talarico after her Jasmine Crockett endorsement didn't work out too well. As critics are warning Texans, this is the guy you voted for.
Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out.
This is really insidious, the way that he's using the Bible to try to push his progressive politics, but he says that God is in fact non-binary. Watch this.
God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Oh, really? And while Time magazine warned his win could put Texas in play in November, a USA Today op-ed argues Democrats are sticking with the same old losing playbook.
1 John 5:19 says that the world is in the hands of the evil one, and James Talarico proves that he is continuing that theme as Satan seeks principalities that he can rule over and have dominion over. Watch this.
Like all throughout the Bible, what Satan does is he targets thrones and dominions. Like he's overtly political. So I just want to point out, if Christians, quote unquote, stay out of politics, all we're doing is ceding all that ground to Satan and then handing our children and our grandchildren a cultural inheritance that's shaped by godlessness instead of the people of God. In
James Talarico's supposed church, they draped a certain moniker over the cross, which is extremely disturbing. Watch this.
In the biblical category, this guy is a false prophet and a false teacher that just so happens to also be in politics. And I'm very confident in that interpretation of events. So we're going to rifle through these real quick. Trinity, we're going to rapid fire these. So number one, this is his quote unquote church, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. You got the LGBT flag, by the way, draped around a cross, like visual blasphemy.
James Talarico also goes as far as to say that trans people need abortions, along with saying that there should be abortion clinics at every national park because he's trying to circumvent the statewide laws that might prohibit certain acts against children. Watch
First
this.
of all, it's a sermon about why God supports abortion. We did a whole episode on this. You guys can go watch it. It'll be in the discipleship guide. But before he starts, he gave a disclaimer about how he knows that trans people need abortions too. So please don't take his use of the word woman as exhaustive. Okay? This is a letter that he wrote. I think he submitted this. I can't remember where he submitted it. But basically, he was advocating, he was advocating, he wanted abortion clinics installed in every federal courthouse and every national park.
But progressivism will take your religion and try to wear it like a skin suit. And while you can make the same accusation against the right wing in that they try to use Christianity as a political cudgel, they're using it based on biblical premises that are actually accurately prescribing what the Bible has to say. So while it's a matter of interpretation, one side is interpreting it as loosely as possible and trying to insert their own politics into how they interpret the Bible. One of them is trying to interpret it accurately, and they are not loosening the definitions of what is prescribed and what is told in the Bible instead of the way that it's being used on the left-hand flank. So I do believe that while both political parties are trying to use Christianity as a weapon, really, to win elections, one is based on an accurate interpretation of the Bible, while one is based on an extremely liberal interpretation of the Bible. And I use liberal in the sense of loose, ways that they are over exaggerating the boundaries of what God says in order to insert their own premises into it. And if we are to win elections in the future, we must be able to defeat these kinds of moderate presenting as Christian candidates, which is exactly what Joe Biden did, as presenting like a Catholic, but one who, does not believe in the sanctity of human life in the womb. And James Talarico, in this case, who believes every progressive nonsense, and he tries to use the Bible, and he even presents as being a minister or a pastor of some type. These are the candidates that we must learn to defeat, because there will be moderate people in the middle who get confused and say, well, he wears a cross at some point and he's using that as a blasphemous way to try to insert his politics rather than actually accurately interpreting the Bible. These false prophets, these false teachers must be defeated if we're ever going to win again. And if you would like to continue to win as a person who is defending the conservative political spectrum, and by that I mean conserving the access to things like faith, family, and freedom, I would love your support. Please like, share, and subscribe.